The NBA regular season has come to an end, so it's officially speculation time. As we know, several NBA teams tend to overhaul their rosters during the offseason, and there are definitely going to be major changes in the association for the upcoming season, as the new deal will allow a lot of guys to get paid big time. So, considering some guys will be looking for a huge paycheck while others will thrive to compete for an NBA ring, it's pretty safe to say that even some stars are going to be playing in another jersey for the 2017-18 campaign. Having said that, let's take a look at the top 10 NBA players that will most likely be on a different team next season. 1. Dwayne Wade, Cleveland Cavaliers. Wade felt disrespected by Pat Riley during the last summer offseason and decided to take his talents to his native Windy City to play for the Bulls. Needless to say, things didn't work out as planned for the veteran shooting guard. Now, returning from injury and trying to keep the Bulls' hopes alive in the playoffs, it's very likely that Wade's homecoming lasts no more than one season, and he'll definitely yearn to go back to play alongside LeBron James, whom he won a couple of rings with at South Beach. The Cavaliers always have a very easy path to the Eastern Conference Finals, and considering how much depth this squad has, Wade could be always rested and fresh come playoff time, so this move would make a lot of sense for him. 2. Paul George, Los Angeles Lakers. Paul George and the Pacers are in a pretty similar situation compared to the Bulls, but their roster is significantly better. Nevertheless, the Pacers really struggle to get to the postseason and the future doesn't seem so bright for Larry Bird's squad. Having said that, and considering that Paul George has been a long-time Laker target, a California native, and the fact he definitely wants out to play for a bigger market, Magic Johnson could put together a pretty nice package to bring the All-Star to the Staples Center. So, as George is most likely leaving at the end of the season for free anyways, they might as well get Jordan Clarkson, Yielding, and even D'Angelo Russell in return for the versatile forward, who'll gladly head to LA to play for Luke Walton. 3. Gordon Hayward, Miami Heat. Gordon Hayward was one of the main reasons why the Utah Jazz were so successful through the entire season as the main guy on offense while playing pretty good defense as well, getting better and better as years go by. Nevertheless, it's been quite clear that the guard forward wants to play for a bigger market and take his career to the next step, being one of the main targets for the Boston Celtics, just like Jimmy Butler and Paul George. Having said that, there have been several reports that state that Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra want Hayward to be their new franchise player for the Miami Heat, and they definitely have the kind of cash to lure him to South Beach. On top of that, Spoelstra is probably the best coach in the East, and he would have a way easier path to the NBA Finals in a weaker Eastern Conference. 4. Jeff Teague, Sacramento Kings. Let's not fool ourselves, the Pacers aren't going anywhere during the playoffs or the foreseeable future, and Teague at age 28 isn't getting any younger or better, so he should definitely be looking for his last lucrative contract before becoming a role player off the bench. The Kings, on the other hand, are desperately trying to acquire a quality point guard, as neither Rajon Rondo, T. Lawson, or Darren Collison have been the answer for Vladivac Perez, and there isn't much of a market for good point guards. Teague is set to hit free agency, and considering how much of a mess the Kings are, it's quite probable that they offer a huge paycheck to the 28-year-old, so Teague is very likely to wind up getting the keys to Sacktown. 5. Carmelo Anthony, Los Angeles Clippers. It's not a secret that Carmelo Anthony isn't pleased with the New York Knicks right now as the main scapegoat for Phil Jackson, even though it's not his fault the team was such a disaster through the entire season. Having said that, Carmelo could waive off his no-trade clause to go play alongside his longtime buddy Chris Paul, sending Jamal Crawford, J.J. Redick, and a future second-rounder to the Madison Square Garden as we mentioned before. The Clippers would be a significant boost for the veteran scorer, and he could have his best shot at an NBA ring under Doc Rivers' tutelage if the Clippers managed to keep Blake Griffin on board as well. 6. Serge Ibaka, Houston Rockets. The Rockets were reportedly very interested in pairing Serge Ibaka once again with James Harden, although they didn't want to risk anything before the deadline for a rental on the veteran power forward, being confident that they could lure him in the offseason. Of course, the frontrunner to resign Serge would be the Raptors, as they could offer him more money than any other team, but his best shot at an NBA championship would definitely come under D'Antoni's command. That would definitely mean the departure of Nen Hilario, as the veteran and injury-prone big men haven't been a factor for a team featuring Ryan Anderson, Montrezl Harrell and Clint Capela at the 4 and the 5.